happens at the first of the month, or midnight at the start of the first of the month. But Real Ismus's seasons for Farm Sim 17 and 19, they suggested you did a 3-day month. Especially since they incorporated drying grass and things like that. And so you needed to cut the grass and then ted the grass, which would make it semi-dry grass, and then leave it in the sun until it dried out, at which point it became hay. So there was an element of time involved making hay, not something that giants programmed into their seasons, but it did mean that if you're making hay, you basically need to make sure that you're out there on a day where it's scheduled to be very, very sunny, so the grass dries as quickly as possible. In some situations you could cut the grass and ted it, and as you were finishing tedding, the first part of the field that you tedded was already turning into hay. So you could get straight back out there with the windrower, row up the rows, and then bale it. If it was dull and overcast, you ted the grass and then you go off and make a few cups of tea and come back and hope it's finished drying. So it's quite a good implementation. Also, if you had hay on the ground, and it rained, the hay would be destroyed. If you had semi-dry grass on the ground, I think it became grass, so you had to ted it again. Been a long time, but yeah. So leaving straw on the field, the straw would disappear over time. Leaving hay on the field, the hay would disappear. Sorry, the straw and the hay would disappear if they got rained on. Grass would just disappear over time. So I think you had 24 hours, which is one of the reasons why they suggested 3-day seasons. So I could cut the grass today and ted it tomorrow, and the full yield would still be there. But if I left it till midnight of the second day, now the grass is going to start decaying over time. Literally per hour the grass would disappear. Same with bales. Grass bales, you don't make bales out of grass, you don't store bales of grass. Now, if you were feeding your sheep grass, moving grass from the field to the sheep, you could bale the grass so it was easier to carry the bales to the sheep area and then feed them the grass. Once grass was in a trough, it was indestructible, but while it was on the field or in a bale, it would vanish. Or the other option was you take your grass bale, you wrap it, and I think 1 month later it became silage, and that's something that giants did continue with. So if I cut the grass and make it bale and wrap the bale, it's not silage until the same time the next month. So So again, if you're playing 4-day months, it's going to be 4 in-game days. And same with the silage bunker. The silage bunkers have always, the silage bunkers, they always took 1 day. Base game without giant seasons, you wrapped a bale, it became silage immediately. Anyway, don't know how we're doing here. We are on row 20. Going a little bit further south before I turn around. Still not sure I'm starting this row close enough to that edge. At the other end it's easier because we're turning with the angle of the field. I might do. We'll keep going. I was thinking I could fill out the rest of this side of the field and then attack the shorter side, because this is going to end up close to the edge, left-hand edge, and then I'm going to have to come down the field quite a ways. I'm not sure I can do a left turn at the end here. But doesn't matter.
Look at it.
Oh, what's that?
Among Us.
A mongoose. Okay. So, not that one, not that one, not that one. That one. Okay, and off we go again. Yeah, we're getting up to 11:23. What's the time? 2:49. I'll probably do this until we've been streaming for just over 3 hours, and we'll call it for the day. I'm going to need to get some food. Running out of stuff to drink. I haven't been timing how long it takes me to do a row here. Oh, airplane. So anyway, yeah, what else is new? Really don't have a lot going. As I said, I'm going to go out, I'm going to go to the store this afternoon, pick up some things we're not desperate for, but I need some wood glue, and I need some, in the UK it's called copy decks. I have no idea what it's called here. It's the sort of stuff they use in schools when kids are doing art projects and what have you. So I need some of that. I need some German honey, because that's our favoured sweetener for when Mrs. Osa makes bread and she's eaten all my German honey. So I might get 2 jars, one for her, one for me. Well, conceptually. There was also some other things I thought about getting, which, yeah, I don't know. But it'll keep me occupied this afternoon. Once I've got some wood glue, I might spend the rest of the afternoon in the basement sticking wood together, gluing wood together, fixing wood together without fasteners. I could buy a big box of countersunk screws. It's just a pain in the butt. You know, drill the hole, drill the countersink. So you're swapping heads over, or you need 3 drills and then one for the screwdriver to screw the screw in. Sometimes it's just easier to glue. I think glue will work. If I leave it long enough, it will cure quite nicely. And it's not like I'm putting significant weight on. I'll be loading it up with a half inch, quarter inch board and train tracks, which really don't weigh much. And it's not a quarter inch board that's 4x8, it's a quarter inch board that's 5 inches wide with lots of supports along the length of it. So I think glue should work. Okay, how are we doing? So we look at the store. We should probably think about selling some of our produce. I mean, we've got a ton of flour. Haven't even looked. No, not that. That one. We've run out of canola. Okay, deactivate. But we have 13,000 litres of canola. We've still got barley's running 306,000. We've got 56,000 litres of that to sell. So, oops. That's a lot of stuff. I'm wondering if we've just got too much barley to produce in a year. Should probably put a timer on that and just see how much we use in a month, or how much we process in a month. Determine if I'm going to need to level up the facility. See, I can upgrade the facility, which will cost me the same amount as a grain mill does, and it will become a level 2 grain mill and process this stuff twice as fast. Give me double the storage, double the input storage, double the output storage. Nice mod, useful mod. I mean, it's not a required mod. You could just build another flour mill, and then when you exceed the capacity of that one, buy another flour mill. It just takes up real estate on the map. If you do it that way, with the sort of the 10 levels of processing, what that allows you to do, you just have the one building. It still costs you twice the amount to produce twice the amount. So it doesn't save money. It doesn't. The effect is literally two buildings superimposed on top of each other type of thing, rather than everything's high. It's costing half the amount. No, it costs you. It actually costs you a little bit more to level it up. So if the building costs 60,000, it's going to cost you about 63,000 to level it up. And then it's going to cost you 65,000 if you level it up to level 3. And level 3 it's not double each time. It's increase it by the base load. So if it can process 100,000 litres of barley in a year, if you level it up to level 2, it can now process 200,000 litres of barley. But that's basically why you want to do it, is I'm producing way too much crop and I need to be able to process more of it. So I'm just going to increase the size of my building. It also makes logistics easier. I'm not deciding, okay, how much barley's in one, how much barley's in the other building. Oh, I need to unload the next truck into building number 2 in order to balance the loads. Because you're just doubling the processing speed. Yeah, you just stick it in the one building and it will process. But it is worth doing the math. Because obviously if 300,000 litres of barley is more than it can process in a year. That was the thing we were finding on Maypole, was our cows were producing 3 times the amount of milk that the dairy could process. So we bought the dairy, we leveled it up to a level 3 dairy so that the dairy could keep up with the amount of product we were putting in it. The area where the crates spawn doesn't get increased, so you have to sit there longer loading crates onto a truck. Plus, you have to load crates onto a truck. It's not like you can pull up with a bulk carrier and just suck the stuff off the ground or out of the processor. And I left that a little bit too late. Oh, it's not burned out too badly, I guess. But yeah, while I have that mod loaded, I'm not at a point where I actually need to use it. I don't think. Sugar beets might be an issue. We do have, obviously, I don't have a very big field of sugar beets, but sugar beets do tend to produce more per acre than many other things. So, yeah, we might fill that mill up. The biggest problem I did have on Maypole was the BGAs. And the biggest problem was I could process, the input capacity on the BGA was too small, in my opinion. I had to put stuff into the BGA twice per day in order to keep it producing 24 hours. And obviously doubling the processing speed and capacity, input and output capacity, didn't help, I still had to service the BGA twice per day, dropping stuff off and emptying the output bins, because the production was just too high. I think with the bakery we did okay until we got, I think we had our starting farm area, and when I bought 3 more fields, at that point I needed to increase the size of the bakery because we were just producing too much flour for the bakery to process. But the vehicles you're transporting with, you know, short of getting a flatbed trailer that will auto-load production pallets, we're kind of stuck with our truck and box trailer, which will load some things in. But it's not. It's not an all singing, all dancing solution. Okay, so we're nearly down to the end here, and then we'll turn around and fill in the gaps. Hi dear. I haven't seen the dear local deers recently. That's a wild guess. Oh, looks like I made the row. That's good. Okay, I think we'll definitely get 1 more row. I don't know if I'll get a second row though. Stop steering before you turn on the guidance steering. So I think I do want 1 more row on the left, but I don't want 2. So what we're going to do is we'll turn right for 3 rows. Two, 3, and turn it in, straighten the wheel, and come out from behind the trees, drop that down. Okay. And we'll do some shallow turns to finish off that side of the field. And then we'll alternate rows back the way we came. Very simple solution to everything. There we go. Awesome. That's good. are some bits I've missed along the border. That might affect how many headlands I need to do. And also this bit that got missed by the mulcher, I am just going to have to figure that out some other time. Okay, 4 rows back and turn in. And good. Okay, so this is me for another hour or so. But I think we'll leave you here. I will get this field done. We'll skip on to September and next week we'll be planting some barley again and maybe doing some other crop related things. I think for now I'm going to wish you all a good weekend. Have a good week. We'll be back next week on Glenleathann. But for now, I'm out of here. Let's do that. Have fun, everyone.